Okay, well, we have completed the meeting with the architect Richard and the interior sort of designers, Anna, Corinne and Tori. It was interesting because it took a couple of hours, and the biggest takeaway I got out of it was the timeline that he gave to me, which shocked me because he's looking at how long essentially the DA might get through council, which could be 3 to 4 months. The completed drawings prior to that. So we've kind of got the house sorted. I love the look of the floor plan. We've got the roof done. So we're sort of like 90% done on getting the drawings done. We'll probably need a couple of weeks to get the DA in. 4 months for that. And then we have this whole conversation about all these things, and you need obviously a construction certificate once you get the DA approved, because this is a big renovation. You know, I'm essentially now taking the roof off and really recreating a whole very much an open space up here. So there's construction certificates. So we went through the whole list of like consultants and experts and all these different submissions that we have to put in with the construction certificate. And all I can see is like dollar signs going, okay, that's that person, and then that's that person, and da 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 da. And I'm like, oh my God, I think you can spend an absolute fortune before you even, start on the build. That was my biggest takeaway. We talked about getting a quantity surveyor, and this is something I've been talking to mates about whether it's, essential. And I think it is, because what it really does is he gives you an idea of costing. So I go, and also ask me, what kind of finishes do you want? So I get an idea of scope. So the scope of the build is essentially recreating a top floor, replacing what's here. And the finishes I want are not top, but they're mid to top in some areas. So that'll give me a much better idea of budget, the B word, and I do have a budget in mind. And every time I talk to someone, they go, oh, it's going to take that much longer and it's going to be that much more expensive than what you think. So I've sort of got a secret budget, and I've got a budget that I'm telling them because I really need to keep it to that. I don't want to go crazy here. So a quantity surveyor goes through and gives you a really rough idea of, or pretty good indication of what the build is going to cost me. And then if it's over, then we have to then look at what we cut back on and the areas that aren't that important for me in terms of putting and investing, the serious dollars. And the places I won't compromise on are the kitchen, which is really important, and the master bathroom. You'd spend a huge amount of time in both of those places. So I'm getting a couple of quotes in for a quantity surveyor and also a structural engineer. Now, a structural engineer will basically look at the proposed construction of the house. And obviously I'm in a really high area on the coast here, so I'm really exposed to the winds and the weather. And I'm doing a lightweight build, so it's not going to be solid brick up here, it's going to be lightweight. So obviously we need really good structural engineer to make sure that the bloody roof doesn't blow off when the nor'easterlies come. So anyway, that's the next steps really, is to work with the structural engineer, which I've already found, and he's already come out here, and find a quantity surveyor and try and work through now budget. The other thing is there's this big lag in the middle while they go off and do all these really detailed drawings. So it's about time for me to start hunting down a really good builder that I can work with. And the most important thing that when you talk to people that I think is really important is the trust factor of finding a builder you can absolutely trust. Because as much as you can give them as many detailed drawings as possible, you're not always there every day. I mean, yes, we'll be having site meetings weekly, but you've got to make sure that when you turn your back, they're not going to cut any corners. So if you're going to go into all the trouble of detailing specifically every square meter of this house, you want to make sure that they're going to deliver on that. So I suppose that's my next steps really for me, is to start looking and talking to builders, looking at their last project and perhaps looking at a couple of their finished projects, so I get a feel for them and their work. And then hopefully they'll come in, because we'll do a tender process, and hopefully the guy I like is going to come in with the cheapest quote. Anyway, that's where we're at.